بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى. وقال سبحانه وتعالى إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. صلى الله على النبي الأمي وآله صلى الله عليه وسلم. صلاة وسلاما عليك يا رسول الله. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت يا حي يا قيوم تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. اللهم يا كريم أكرمنا بنور الفهم وأخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Today inshallah from this kitab Lawaqihul Anwar Al-Qudsiyya fi Bayan Al-Uhud Al-Muhammadiyya, we shall go through covenant number 152, which talks about a very important subject in which we should be the arbitrators in terms of creating peace and harmony between any partners who have any kind of conflict between them. So if the husband and the wife, there's some kind of arguments or bickering or quarreling or any kind of fighting between them, we should step in and we should give impartial advice so as to create peace and harmony between them. So Imam Sha'rani rahimahullah says, أخذ علينا العهد العام رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أن نكون رحمة بين العباد وميزان عدالة بين الناس لا نحيف على واحد دون آخر. This covenant has been taken from us, which reaches the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we become merciful to Allah's servants. ये हमसे अहद लिया गया कि हम लोगों के दरमियान रहमत फैलाए, लोगों के दरमियान मोहब्बतें फैलाए और लोगों के दरमियान अदल इंसाफ के साथ कायम रहे और लोगों के दरमियान इंसाफ को कायम रखे. So that we become merciful to the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that we establish justice between them. We become the scales of justice, the balance of justice between people. So you give impartial advice. And then he says, لا نحيف على واحد دون آخر. We should not be biased towards one side. Many a times what happens is you hear one side of the story. You may hear the story of the husband or the story of the wife, and then you judge accordingly. You prejudge someone. So especially Ahlul Ilm and Hamalatul Quran, they should look at both sides of the story and then pass the judgment accordingly. فنرغب مثلا الزوج في الوفاء بحق زوجته وحسن عشرتها ونرغب المرأة في الوفاء بحق زوجها وطاعته وعدم مخالفته. So then he says, we incite and we encourage the husband, for example, to fulfill the rights of his wife and to be good with her, with his wife, to treat her well in the best of all manners. And then we incite and we encourage the wife, for example, to fulfill her rights, any of the rights of the husband that are on her. وَطَاعَتِهِ, and for her to be obedient to the husband and not to go against the husband in any way, shape or form, so as long as it obviously doesn't contradict the Sharia. وَنَتْلُو عَلَى كُلِّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمَا مَا وَرَدَ فِي ذَلِكَ فِي حَقِّهِ عَنِ الشَّارِعِ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمَ. And we recite to them, we transmit to them, we convey to them the verses of the Quran and the traditions, the prophetic traditions that have been passed down in relation to the rights of the husband over the wife and the rights of the wife over the husband. यानी हम एक दूसरे को रग़बत दिलाएं, शौहर को ये रग़बत दिलाए कि वो उसके हुकूक अदा करे, औरतों के हुकूक अदा करे, उनके साथ अच्छा बर्ताव करें। औरतों को ये हुक्म देंगे, औरतों को तरगीब देंगे और इनको बताएंगे कि तुम अपने शौहरों का हुक्म मानो और जो शौहरों के हुकूक तुम पर आयद होते हैं उनको पूरा करो। और उसके साथ साथ कुरानी आयतें भी पेश करेंगे और अहादीस मुबारक भी उनके सामने पेश करेंगे। Unfortunately, in this day and age, even if you cite Quranic verses and a hadith of the Messenger of Allah, people don't listen. This is the age that we're living in. وَهَذَا الْعَهْدُ قَلَّ مَنْ يَعْمَلُ بِهِ الْآنَ لِأُمُورٍ يَطُولُ شَرْحُهَا. This covenant, very few people act upon it for reasons. Explaining them would lengthen this kitab. So he says, he just put in a nutshell that people are not following this amal, following this covenant. लोग इस पर अमल नहीं करते, बहुत कम लोग हैं जो इस पर अमल करते हैं। وأولى الناس بالعمل به حملة القرآن والعلم لاطلاعهم على ما ورد في ذلك بخلاف العوام والظلمة فإن أكثرهم لا يكاد يعرف أصول الدين فضلا عن فروعه. And the worthiest of people and the most rightful of people to act upon this covenant are the bearers of the Quran and those who have knowledge, any ulama, scholars of the deen. They have a right, they have the greatest right to act upon this covenant because they are aware and they are informed and they know about what has been mentioned in the Quran about the rights of the husband over the wife and the rights of the wife over the husband. They know about family relations and the rights that are binding upon both partners as mentioned in the Quran and the hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the ulama should intervene if there is a conflict between two people. And as the Prophet ﷺ said, the worst of all kinds of people are those who cause a conflict between the husband and the wife. The best of all those people are those who create harmony and peace and reconciliate between them. So if you know verses of the Quran, if you know a hadith of the Messenger ﷺ, quote them. As opposed to the laymen and as opposed to the oppressors and the wrongdoers, because most of them, they don't even know the necessities of the deen. They don't even know the basic necessary aspects and fundamental aspects of the deen, let alone the subsidiary and the secondary aspects of the deen. And they don't even know how to pray namaz properly, they don't even know how to do wudu properly, let alone understanding what are the rights for one another or on one another. وينبغي للفقيه إذا وعظ النساء والرجال أن يذكر لكل فريق ما عليه من الحق للآخر. It is necessary on the faqih, on the jurist, on a person of understanding, that when he admonishes the women or the men, that he mentions to each party the rights that are on them, the rights of the others that are binding on them. So for example, the alim will speak to the husband, he will say, these are the rights of the wife on you. You owe these rights to your wife. And when he speaks to the women, he says, these are the rights of your husbands over you. You owe these rights to your husband. Okay? So then he mentions, وَقَدْ دَخَلَ الْأَمِيرُ مُحْيِي الدِّينِ ابْنُ أَبِي أَسْبَغَ أَحَدُ أَرْكَانِ الدَّوْلَةِ بِمِصْرَ الْمَحْرُوسَةِ يَوْمًا. One day, the Amir of Egypt, one of the government officials, so one of the people of authority in the government, on the governmental level, he entered Cairo and he saw in one household فرأى قارئ البخاري لعياله في البيت يقرأ عليهن حقهن على الزوج. He saw someone who was sat in his house with Sahih al-Bukhari and he was reading the ahadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reading the rights of the wife over the husband. So he was the husband and he had his wife in front of him. So he was reading to him what? The rights that she has over him. Instead of reading his rights over them, he was reading her rights over him, over the husband. The rights that she has over the husband. So what happened? فَقَالَ لَهُ, the Amir then said, يَا أَعْمَى الْقَلْبِ, O blind-hearted man, أُذْكُرْ لَهُنَّ مَا عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنْ حَقِّ الزَّوْجِ أَوَّلًا. What you should do first is inform them of your rights, of the rights of the husband over them. Because لأننا لا نطيقهن مع جهلهن بما لهن علينا من الحق فكيف نطيقهن إذا عرفنا الحقوق التي لهن علينا. Because when we cannot fulfill their rights that are binding on us, even though they do not know of those rights, in the state when they are ignorant of their rights over us, we are not able to fulfill those rights, then what do you think of the situation when they know about their rights and we don't fulfill them? They'll come with a list. This is my right, this is my right, this is my right. I've not put a tick next to each box. So what you need to do is to first inform them of the rights that are binding on them in respect of their husband, i.e. the rights that they owe to their husband first. Because we aren't able to fulfill their rights, even though that they are ignorant of their own rights, that the rights that they have over their husbands. What will happen if you tell them all of their rights? So before you enter the home, there'll be a list. You cannot enter the house before you fulfill these rights of mine. MashaAllah. Allahu Akbar. فَإِيَّاكَ يَا أَخِي إِذَا عَرَفْتَ الْعِلْمَ أَن تَتَّخِذَهُ سِلَاحًا تُقَاتِلُ بِهِ كُلَّ مَنْ لَهُ عَلَيْكَ حَقٌّ. Now he warns people. Don't exploit knowledge to your advantage. He says, refrain and beware, O my brother, that if you know your rights, don't take it as a weapon that you fight against other people through this knowledge. Look, these are my rights. Quote Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, verses of the Quran. These are my rights, I demand these rights of mine. Don't take knowledge as a weapon to fight others. To fight others, those on whom you have rights. Okay? فَإِنَّ ذَلِكَ حَقٌّ أُرِيدَ بِهِ بَاطِلٌ. Because that is a truth which is exploited for a wrong reason. What you're quoting is the truth, is good. But the end result, the intention is bad. You're using something good for a wrong reason. It doesn't justify the means. وربما عملت يا أخي بالأقوال التي ليس في مذهبك وخاصمت بها زوجتك وظفرت عليها بالحجج حتى تقهرها وتظهر للناس أنها ظالمة والحال بخلاف ذلك والناقد بصير. Many a times what will happen is, oh my brother, you will act upon certain statements of the fuqaha which contradicts your madhab. Your madhab, for example, you quote, you are Hanafi, and you go to the Shafi madhab and you find other rights that are in your favor, and then you quote them before your wife and you fight against her, you argue against her with these dalail, and you show to people that she is an oppressor, whereas in fact you are the oppressor. So आप ज़ाहिर ये करते हैं कि ये जालिम है, ये औरत हम पर जुल्म करती है, हालांकि हकीकत ये है कि तुम जालिम हो, और लोगों के सामने हम ये दिखा रहे हैं कि वो हम पर जुल्म करती है, वो ये करती है, वो करती है. So don't use knowledge as a weapon. Don't use it as a weapon to fight against people wrongly. Okay, don't exploit knowledge and take advantage of it in that manner, as I just mentioned to you. وَالنَّاقِدُ بَصِيرٌ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fully aware of what is happening and what your intentions are and what is the truth of the matter. وَيَحْتَاجُ مَنْ يُرِيدُ الْعَمَلَ بِهَذَا الْعَهْدِ إِلَى شَيْخٍ يُبَيِّنُ لَهُ طُرُقَ السِّيَاسَةِ وَتَمْهِيدِهَا لِكُلِّ خَصْمٍ حَتَّى يَكُونَ كُلٌّ مِّنْهُمَا يُبَادِرُ لِإِعْطَاءِ مَا عَلَيْهِ مِنَ الْحَقِّ لِمَا لِنَفْسِهِ مِنَ الْحَظِّ وَالْمَصْلَحَةِ. Someone who wants to fully act upon this covenant needs to find a shaykh who will make it clear to him, who will make it easy for him the way to counsel people. किस तरीके से हमें लोगों को नसीहत करनी चाहिए? Because नसीहा, you know, there's a certain way to do it. हर शख्स नसीहत नहीं कर सकता. अगर आप नसीहत करने लगेंगे, एक शौहर और मियाँ बीवी के दरमियान इख्तिलाफ है और हम अंदर गए और बगैर जाने हुए कि किस तरह नसीहत करनी चाहिए हम नसीहत करने लगे, तो ये तो समझेंगे तो आप तो एक तरफा वाली बात करते, तो आपकी बात नहीं मानेंगे. तो हिकमत के साथ और अकल के साथ और होशियारी के साथ नसीहत करनी चाहिए. This is what he is saying here. So that you then prepare both parties, the husband and the wife, to hasten to give the right to their respectful owners, so that they understand that there is benefit in them doing so. You make it clear to the husband that if you fulfill the rights of your wife, you will get this benefit. Allah subhanahu will be pleased with you. You will get this benefit. You will get this blessing in this world and the dunya. The Prophet ﷺ said this blessing and this reward for the husbands who fulfill the rights of their wives. And you explain to the wives the benefit that they will receive in this world and the dunya for fulfilling the rights of their husbands. This is how you explain to them. فإن من لم يعرف طرق السياسة ربما نسبوه إلى غرض وخاصمه أحد الخصمين وأخرجه عن كونه ميزان عدالة. Because someone who doesn't understand the way to advise people, the way to counsel people, someone who doesn't understand how to admonish people, many times what will happen is one of the two parties will attribute him towards prejudice, to being prejudiced and biased, and therefore they will not listen to that person. They will not regard him as a person who comes with impartial advice. They would not regard him as someone who is an arbitrator to judge between them with equality and justice. So you've already ruled out yourself. You cannot enter that home and reconcile between them, because one of the two parties, either the wife or the husband, has already ruled you out as a biased person, because you didn't understand how to admonish them. You go to both and you advise them in a sweet manner, in a good manner, in the best of all manners, with hikmah, with wisdom. وسمعت سيدي علي الخواص رحمه الله يقول أخلاق الزوجة على صورة أخلاق الرجل في نفسه لأنها منه خلقت. इमाम अली शारानी, इमाम शारानी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह बयान फरमाते हैं, मैंने अपने पीर मुर्शिद शेख अली खवास रहमतुल्लाह अलैह को ये फरमाते हुए सुना कि औरतों के वही अखलाक होते हैं जो शौहर के अपने होते हैं, क्योंकि औरतें शौहर ही से बनाई गई। औरत जो है वो आदमी से पैदा की गई। देखो हज़रत हव्वा रज़ियल्लाहु तआला अन्हा ये कैसे पैदा हुई थी, हज़रत आदम अलैहिस्सलाम की बाई पसली से। तो औरतों के अखलाक वही है जो आदमी ही के हैं। So he says here, the character and the mannerism and the traits of your wife reflect yourself, reflect your own characteristics. If you're good, she'll be good. And if you become crooked, she'll become crooked, because she was created from a crooked rib, from you, from a man. The woman, the first woman, Sayyiduna Hawwa radiallahu ta'ala anha, was created from the rib of Sayyiduna Adam alayhi salam. So therefore, the character of the woman that is manifest in her is actually a reflection and mirrors the character of the husband. So instead of complaining about the character of the wife, about her immorality, and about her unscrupulousness, and about her wickedness, a man should think deeply in himself. There's crookedness in himself, as we'll mention later on. فَمَنْ جَهِلَ شَيْئًا مِنْ أَخْلَاقِهِ فَلْيَنْظُرْ إِلَى أَخْلَاقِ زَوْجَتِهِ فَإِنَّهَا تَغْمِزُ عَلَيْهِ. If someone misses something in relation to his character, if someone is missing in terms of his morality, then he should actually look at the character of his own wife, because the character of his wife is like a mirror. So when he looks at his wife, he sees that she uses foul language, she doesn't fulfill this right, she doesn't fulfill that right, then he should look to himself. Yani, am I doing it? Am I myself not fulfilling those rights? And then this is being manifest in the life of, in the character of my wife herself. Because whatever character is in the wife, that mirrors the character of the husband. So if there's something missing in you, you will see it exactly in the wife. Imam Sha'rani then mentions his own tajraba, his own experience later on. So then he says a very beautiful point. अगर तुम चाहते हो कि तुम्हारी बीवियां सीधी राह पर चले, उनके अखलाक अच्छे हो, तो क्या फरमाते हैं, तो क्या नुस्खा पेश करते हैं? फ़इन अरदत या अखी इस्तिक़ामत ज़ौजतिक फ़िल अखलाक फ़स्तक़िम मअल्लाहि फ़ीमा बैनक व बैनह. अगर तुम चाहते हो कि तुम्हारी बीवियों के अखलाक सीधे हो, अच्छे हो, तो तुम्हारा रिश्ता जो तुम्हारे और अल्लाह ताला के दरमियान है, उसको मजबूत करो, उसको अच्छा करो, उसको सीधा करो. नमाजें अच्छी तरीके से पढ़ो, अल्लाह ताला ने जो हुकूक तुम पर आयद किए हैं, जो फ़राइज़ वाजिबात हैं, उन पर उनके वक्तों के साथ और उनके आदाब के साथ अदा करो, तो इंशाअल्लाह जो दीगर लोगों के, जो आपके हुकूक लोगों पर है, दूसरे लोगों पर है, वो भी अच्छी तरीके से आपके हुकूक अदा करेंगे. अगर आप अल्लाह ताला के हक को सही तौर पर अदा करेंगे, लोग भी आपके हुकूक सही तौर पर अदा करेंगे इंशाअल्लाह. So this is the relation that we mentioned, a twofold relationship. If you want the character of your wife to be straight, if you want her to be straight, if you want her to be moral, if you want her to be happy and cheerful and good to you, if you want her to be pious, if you want her to be upright, then he says strengthen the bond of uprightness and fulfill the rights of Allah. Strengthen that bond that you have between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And automatically the wife will change. Many people, they become depressed. They don't know the solution. How can I change? How can I resolve my wife? How can I reform her character? The best way to reform the character of people around you, whether it's the children, whether it's your servant, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's your wife, whether it's your employer, whoever it is to reform your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is to change the connection that you have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is to strengthen your expression and manifestation of servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, the greater your bond with Allah, the greater change you will see around yourself. Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah will not change the state of a people until they themselves change first. You need to change yourself first. Stop pointing fingers at other people. Stop blaming other people. Stop spreading rumors. Okay, so this is what he's saying. وهذا أمر قد أغفله غالب الناس فصاروا يشكون من أخلاق زوجاتهم ولا ينتبهون لنفوسهم. This covenant, many people don't act upon this. The majority of people are heedless about this. So they begin to complain about the ill character of their wives, whereas they don't even think about their own character, whereas they don't even look up in themselves. ولو أنهم عرفوا ما قلناه لرجعوا لنفوسهم فاستقاموا في أخلاقها فاستقامت أخلاق نسائهم. If they were to ponder upon what we have already said, they would look deep into themselves first and then refine their character first, and then they will see a change in the character of their women. So husbands, they need to change their character, emulate the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, internalize the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. Crush this ego, become humble, and then you will see humbleness and selflessness in your wives, in your family, in your children. وَقَدْ جَرَّبْتُ أَنَا زَوْجَتِي عبد الرحمن رضي الله تعالى عنها في أخلاقي. I've already experienced this with my wife, and he calls her Abd al-Rahman, the mother of my son Abdul Rahman, in terms of her character. I've experienced this myself. It's a first-hand account. What does he say? فلا أتعوج في عمل ظاهر أو باطن إلا وتتعوج علي في أخلاقها قهرا عليها. I would not sway from good character. I would not be crooked in terms of any action, outwardly or inwardly. I would not express crookedness, save that I would see that crookedness in my wife. If I would sway slightly, I would see that swaying away from the straight path in my wife. Obviously, we're not talking about swaying away from the straight path, because these are the awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, अगर मैंने थोड़ी सी खता की ज़ाहिरी या बातिन अमल में, तो मैं इस खता का असर मैं अपनी अहलिया में देखता, उसके अखलाक में देखता. And by force, out of necessity, she would become like that. Because Allah's made the wife to reflect the character of the husband. Partners reflect one another. Therefore, if you want your wives to be good, your children to be good, you yourself need to be good. You yourself need to strengthen that bond with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make it strong, you know. And then he says, مَعَ أَنَّهَا ذَاتُ خُلُقٍ حَسَنٍ. Even though she possessed beautiful, upright, moral characters, out of necessity, by force, she was compelled to become crooked, to reflect the crookedness in my action, whether it was outward or inward crookedness. وربما أكون معها في أحسن ما يكون من حسن عشرة فيخطر في بالي فعل شيء من الشهوات فتتغير في المجلس قهرا عليها فأعرف سبب ذلك فأرجع عنه فترجع في الحال. At times I would be in the sitting with her, and I would be in the best of manners with her. I would treat her in the best of all manners. But then a waswasa would enter my mind to commit something which entails a carnal desire, to follow my carnal desires. So she would change immediately. In that gathering, she would be smiling, and immediately when this thought comes into my mind, my wife changes immediately. And as soon as I do tawbah inwardly, she changes immediately in that gathering. So he actually says about his own experience that the i'wijaj, the crookedness of my wife, is actually the crookedness in me. She is a mirror of my crookedness, whether this crookedness was in relation to the outward amal or inner amal. And then he says, وفي رسالة القشيري عن الفضيل بن عياض رحمه الله أنه كان يقول إني لأعصي الله تعالى فأعرف ذلك في خلق حماري وخادمي وزوجتي. हज़रत फ़ुदैल इब्न इयाद रहमतुल्लाह बहुत बड़े अल्लाह ताला के बुजुर्ग थे। वो फरमाते हैं कि जब भी मैं अल्लाह ताला की नाफरमानी करता, और ये इनकी नाफरमानी तो गुनाह, ये तो हम ऐसे ही आम कह देते, वो तो अल्लाह ताला के यहाँ से महफूज थे, लेकिन उन्होंने गुनाह का, उन्होंने नाफरमानी का लफ्ज़ फरमाया है और अल्लाह ताला बेहतर जानता है वो नाफरमानी कौन सी थी। कि फरमाते कि मैं जब भी अल्लाह ताला की नाफरमानी करता तो उसका असर मैं अपने गधे में और अपने खादिम में और अपनी बीवी में देख लेता था। अगर मैं अल्लाह ताला की नाफरमानी करता तो गधा भी मेरी नाफरमानी करता, खादिम भी मेरी बात नहीं मानता, मेरी बीवी भी मेरी बात नहीं मानती। Allahu Akbar. Whenever I would go against the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whenever I would disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I would see its consequence and its athar in my wife and in my servant and even in my donkey, even in my mount. فَإِذَا اسْتَغْفَرْتُ وَنَدِمْتُ زَالَ ذَلِكَ الْخُلُقُ السَّيِّئِ. जब मैं तोबा करता, इस्तिग़फ़ार करता, तो बुरे अखलाक उन लोगों से चले जाते। अगर बीवी नाफरमान थी, अगर मैं तोबा करता उस गुनाह से, तो मेरी बीवी अच्छी हो जाती, कुदरती खुद ब खुद वो अच्छी हो जाती। क्योंकि अगर मामला तुम्हारे और अल्लाह ताला के दरमियान सही है तो बीवी और तुम्हारे दरमियान जो मामला है वो भी सही होगा, तुम्हारे और खादिम के दरमियान जो मामला है, जो रिश्ता है वो भी अच्छा होगा, तुम्हारा जानवर भी तुम्हारा मुती और फरमा बरदार होता, सरकशी नहीं करता। So whenever I sought forgiveness and I was ashamed of what I did, that bad character went away from them. So I would then understand that my tawbah has been accepted, because I could see the signs of the acceptance of my tawbah in my wife and in my donkey and in my servant. They would change immediately to become good. وكثيرا ما كنت أستغفر وأندم فيدوم الحمار على شموسه والعبد والزوجة على مخالفة ما آمرهم به فأعرف أن توبتي لم تقبل. Many a times I would seek forgiveness and I would express regret and remorse, but the donkey would still remain wild. The himar, the mount would remain, the donkey would remain wild, and my servant and my wife would go against what I command them to do. So I would understand and I would conclude from that my tawbah has not been accepted. So then I would look again in myself. He wouldn't be going around people on Facebook, on Twitter, like people are doing, a wife plastering all over Facebook that my husband did this and my husband did that. The husband then refutes and then comes back again and fights again, literally and metaphorically. This is not the way to act. A person should look deeply in themselves before pointing fingers at other people. 3 fingers are already pointed towards you. So this is the essence, that you look in yourself. If there is crookedness in your wife, in your students, in your disciples, in your neighbors, then there's something wrong with you yourself. Don't blame other people, blame your own self. Reform yourself and Allah will automatically reform other people around you. Imam Fudail ibn Iyaz actually mentioned this. When I changed myself, I would see everything around me, people around me, they would change. ففتش يا أخي نفسك في الأخلاق السيئة قبل أن تشكو من زوجتك. तो ए मेरे भाई, पहले अपने अखलाक के बारे में गौर फिक्र कर, इससे पहले कि तुम लोगों के सामने अपनी बीवियों के बारे में शिकायत करो। पहले खुद अपने अखलाक में देखो, पहले खुद अपने गिरेबान में झांको, अपने अंदर जो टेढ़ापन है उसको दूर करो, जो गुनाह हम करते हैं उसे दूर करे, तो अल्लाह ताला फिर मामला सारे सुधार देगा इंशाअल्लाह. First, look into yourself before complaining about your partner. ثم إنما ذكرناه من هذه القاعدة هو الغالب في الناس. This principle that we've mentioned, this is for the majority of the people. However, at times يكون بعض الأولياء مستقيما في الباطن ويبتلى بزوجته وبأصحابه وغيرهم اختبارا له وتحملا عن غيره من الناس فربما كان غيره يتزوج تلك الزوجة فلا يتحمل أذاها والله غفور رحيم. This principle applies to most people but not for some of the awliya. Why? He says some of the awliya are completely clean from the inside. Their relationship with Allah, their relationship with their servants, their relationship with their mount, their relationship with their wives is absolutely beautiful, is amazing, is uncrooked, is sound, is perfect. Yet, their wives go against them, their wives use foul language. We mentioned this, if you remember, 2 weeks ago. Shaykh Ali Khawas rahmatullah was the qutub of his age, and he would be seen for a month, he would sleep outside. His wife through his bed outside. Through his bed outside. You see, talking about awliya of Allah. Today we can't even bear a few words from our wives. This was the wali of Allah subhanahu. He mentions for more than 50 years, I have not slept without argumentation. For 50 years, every single night when we went to sleep, me and my wife were arguing. Obviously she was on the wrong. He was a great wali of Allah subhanahu. Every single night, for 50 years consecutively, I never slept with peace. They went from Egypt for Hajj, month's journey. And Imam Sha'rani mentions they didn't even speak a word until even when they returned back, they didn't speak even a word. They didn't conversate with one another. So this happens as a test for them. اختبارا له, to elevate their status even more. Not because it's a reflection of their character, because their character is beautiful. Their character mirrors the character of the Prophet ﷺ. They have emulated and internalized the sunnah and the seerah and the akhlaq of the Prophet ﷺ. Yet this still happens because Allah is testing them, Allah is elevating their ranks, and they are taking the burden off other people. They are marrying those wives who are crooked, who are immoral, who are unscrupulous, who are evil. Why? Because to save other people from marrying that woman, to take the burden off other people. They take the calamity on themselves, they take the responsibility on themselves because they know other people will not be able to bear that wife. So they bear that wife. They are forbearant, they're tolerant, they follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, they remove harm from other people, take it on themselves, subhanallah. يُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. They give preference to other people over themselves, even though they are in straitened and in dire circumstances. So this is what we have mentioned. So the crux of this argument and of this discourse is that before pointing at other people, before blaming other people, before pointing at the defects of other people, we should look at our own defects, we should reform our own selves, and inshallah Azza wa Jal, when we reform ourselves, everything and everyone else around us will reform automatically, change automatically. Inshallah Azza wa Jal. Wallahu ta'ala alam wa rasul alam Azza wa Jal wa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallam. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد معدن الجود والكرم وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. اللهم آت نفسي تقواها وزكيها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها فاغفر لها. اقرأوا الفاتحة. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. صلى الله على النبي الأمي وآله صلى الله عليه وسلم. صلاة وسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.